Heather, thanks for joining us again today.
Thanks for having me as always.
You look beautiful.
As do you. I love this. I love the flair.
Thank you. I picked that on my way into work.
I love it.
And I love your t-shirt because that's what's going to get us into this hot topic. Today, we are talking about loving yourself.
Yes.
Why is this so hard for us to do? When we look in the mirror, we find nothing but faults.
Our brains all have a negativity bias. So think about the last conversation that you had with your boss, or maybe they mentioned, how you were doing something really well, but then they had feedback on this one thing. We will sit and stew over the one thing we could have done better instead of celebrating all of the things that we got right. We never forget the time that someone in middle school called us fat or ugly or weird or stupid, yet we ignore all of the things that the people who know and love us see and say about how beautiful and wonderful and intelligent and kind and thoughtful we are. So self-love begins by realizing that we have the right to be happy, and it means accepting ourselves exactly as we are and being our own best friend. And another reason that it's hard for some of us to love ourselves is because we are the dreaded 2Ps, people pleasers. We don't want to let people down, and we put other people's needs before our own. And I think it's okay to be a people pleaser as long as the person who is at the top of the list is yourself.
I would say we are definitely our own worst critics. So I'd like to flip that script along with you, right, and be our own best advocate. What are some ways that we can flex that love muscle?
Yes. And you're right. Like any muscle, we have to work it. And so we have to practice self-love. And there are three really great ways to flex that self-love muscle. The first is to recognize and prioritize your needs, because self-love is all about identifying what it is that you want and need, and then making that a priority in your life. And the only way to do this is by spending more time getting to know yourself. If you're constantly running from one thing to another, you're always busy, you are never making the necessary space to actually listen to what's in here. And can you imagine having a healthy relationship with your best friend, with your son, with your partner, if you gave zero time and space to that relationship? Of course not. So you have got to make time for yourself. The second thing, forgive yourself and let go of all of your regrets and past mistakes. A really common setback of self-love is holding on to things that we've done in the past. Maybe it was an embarrassing moment or a serious mistake that you're still letting define yourself. Maybe you cheated in a relationship. Maybe you got fired from a job or made a mistake that hurt yourself or someone else. You might be holding on to evidence that you're not lovable, and that's not the case. Instead, look at how you have changed and realize that how even our worst moments have made us stronger and kinder and better. Because without that failed relationship, we wouldn't be in our current one, or we wouldn't better know what we want in our next relationship. And without being fired, maybe we wouldn't have found that new passion or be where we are today. The bottom line is that see yourself as a growing human, not as a compilation of past mistakes. Be kind to yourself, let those mistakes go, and believe in your future more than your past. The third one, and this is my favorite one, play more. When is the last time you did anything for fun? And Nicole, answer this. When is the last time you did something simply because it was fun?
Oh, that's really hard. I mean, when you're, managing 4 kids and a single mom, you don't really get much time for yourself.
Yes. And so we need to play more, and carving out the space for yourself. What do they say about the airplanes? Put on your mask before helping others, because you cannot give from an empty cup, especially as a busy mom of 4 kids. And when I'm talking about fun, I am not talking binging Netflix or scrolling social media. A really important aspect of life that is necessary for happiness and joy is having fun. And that lack of self-love or constant self-judgment, like we're not good enough, sometimes it's because we take life too seriously. If it brings you joy, then there is no excuse to stop doing it, because there is nothing that we age out of that brings us joy. So add regular playtime to your life by turning on the music and dancing or singing or doing something creative like drawing or coloring. Or maybe the next time you walk by a park, jump on the swing. Like, who doesn't love swinging? But make time to play and do the things for the simple fact that it brings you joy with no other purpose.
Okay, so once we put these 3 tools into place, what can we expect as a result?
You know what? The greatest relationship that we can have is with ourselves because we are always with us. And when we nurture that, right? Like we never leave ourselves. And so when we nurture that relationship, we will find more confidence and fulfillment and freedom and happiness, all the things we want in life. And our purpose in life is simply to become more of who we are and to close that gap between who we actually are and who we think we need to be, because we spend so much of our lives trying to be accepted and to prove ourselves and blend in that sometimes we stop prioritizing our truest self. And in reality, we can only love ourselves when our actions align with what's true in our hearts. And so it's only when we're happy with ourselves that we can actually be happy with anyone else. When we have more inner peace, we have more to give. When we are gentle with ourselves, we can be more compassionate with others. And so appreciate all of the amazing things about yourself so that when you look in the mirror, you can identify all of the things that you love, because let's not forget that we are all the youngest we will ever be again. So go and live your best and beautiful life.
Great advice once again, Honey Bunny. I mean, I don't know how we've lived without you this long, but I sure appreciate you giving your time to us and sharing all of your
I just love being here. I love you guys, and you're the best, and you're not getting rid of me, so sorry.
Good deal. Well, there you have it. This is why we call it the Joy Corner, is because Heather Boschke brings us so much joy. She asked me when's the last time I had fun. I'll tell you, that last 5 minutes of my life was gold. And I hope you enjoyed it too. Thanks for joining us.